All right. Good afternoon, all of you. Right. My name is Simranjet, and I'm working as a senior pre-sales consultant with the IT security company called Cyberoam. And this is my third time in Hungary, a beautiful country, but first time in Balatonlelle. So I'm looking forward to spend some of my beautiful moments in Europe, especially in Hungary. All right. So in this presentation, what I will be speaking on, I'll be talking about Cyberoam itself, the product that we have in the market. But how does this product helps the IT managers or any kind of IT department that you have in your company? How does it helps them to overcome the security challenges or the emerging trends and the challenges posed by those emerging trends, and how you can use Cyberoam to protect yourself. So these are few of modern day emerging trends, and with these emerging trends there are some challenges. For example, we are moving on to virtualization. We are taking our infrastructure, the hardware infrastructure, onto the virtual infrastructure. So again, it comes with its own challenges, own security issues. Cloud applications, we are moving on to cloud. Everybody knows that. There was a joke in India that a layman person was talking on TV and somebody asked him, how do you think about cloud security? He said, it's insecure. What if there is a rain? So there won't be any clouds. So there is no data. So cloud, we are moving on to cloud applications. We also have application chaos, which actually means that nowadays we are coming up with we see a lot of applications in the market every now and then, which increases security challenges because downloading applications can be used to download pirated things, accessing malicious data, right? So application control is very important. Then yes, in the last presentation I saw BYOD. Again, BYOD, bring your own devices. It again poses challenge, and it also gives security issues to modern day companies. Web applications, very important. For example, banking websites, they have web applications, web servers connected to database servers, right? And hackers especially go for these kinds of applications to attack them, to retrieve some information like credit card information, bank account information. So that's what web applications are also come with security issues. Then increasing internet speeds. Speeds are increasing. You must have heard about Google Fiber in United States. They have lots of speeds. So we need to have our infrastructure ready for all these emerging trends. These are just modern day trends. There may be more trends. Things may change with the future because networking is a field which is quite dynamic in nature, right? Things changes at every minute. So security of virtual environment. We migrate our hardware infrastructure onto virtual infrastructure, right? So earlier my hardware infrastructure was like this. I had a firewall at the perimeter, then my network, my workstations. But now what? And the questions, how do I secure my virtual network? Do I need to buy a virtual security appliance from another vendor? So the solution is, or the answer to yours is, Cyberoam Virtual Appliance. Although we have a hardware appliance, but we also have our appliances available for all major virtual platforms that you may come across, starting from VMware to Hyper-V to Oracle VirtualBox, Citrix, right? So Cyberoam's virtual appliance, it resides on the virtual layer, gives you the complete control of what's happening in your network. It scans inter-VM traffic, which is unique to Cyberoam. Not all vendors in the market are going to provide the feature of inter-VM scanning of traffic. Apply granular firewall controls. Cyberoam is a layer 8 firewall. When I say layer 8 firewall, you all know what is the OSI model with 7 layers. Right? And then there's a human layer. On the 7th layer, that is the application layer, our all application resides on layer 7. And then humans, we are layer 8 because we are accessing those applications. Now with Cyberoam, you can identify who is the user, what he is doing in your network, when he is doing, what he is doing, how, when, how, what. All the answers you have with Cyberoam. So we call it layer 8 because now you have the identity of the user, what he is doing at layer 8. And what are the applications he is accessing on layer 7. So you have the liability of having granular firewall and security policies. We have a holistic product portfolio starting with virtual UTM. Then we have a virtual CCC as well, which is again a virtual, which is also available as a hardware device as well as a virtual device. Then we have intelligent logging and reporting system, which gives you like 1,200 plus logs and reports in graphs, in pie charts, in tables. So we offer companies we secure their virtual data center. We also give them secure office in a box. We also provide security, and we have offers for enterprise and MSSP security in a box. Talking about applications. Now, this is pretty important nowadays. As I mentioned earlier, applications, they are quite obscure in nature. I'll just give you an example. For example, FreeGate. I am not sure how many of you have heard about this application, FreeGate. This application can be used to bypass any of your firewalls that you have in your network. And the good thing about this is it works on port number 53, which actually is used by our DNS. So you can't even apply a port-based rule denying DNS, because ultimately you will be stopping your users to browse, right? So it is very important nowadays for any device in your network, whether it's a virtual appliance or a hardware appliance, to identify the applications that you have in your network or your users are using, right? With Cyberoam, we provide you visibility of over 2,000 plus key applications. And these applications, the list is increasing day by day. Last week we had around 2,045, and today I saw it was like 2,050. So 5 applications in just 5 weeks. So we are adding the applications to this list. Now these applications, the identification of these applications is not only limited to Windows platform, but also to iOS and Android platform. So you can even give control or control the users what they are doing on your tablets or on their mobile phones. On Cyberoam, this is just a screenshot that we took. On Cyberoam, we are not only dividing applications in accordance to their names, but also in accordance to the risk that they carry, the characteristics they carry, and the technology they use. I'll just give you an example. YouTube and BitTorrent, 2 applications, right? And they have different technology. YouTube is kind of streaming media. BitTorrent is P2P. But they have same characteristics. For a company, it could be loss of productivity for their employees, bandwidth choke, right? They can consume your bandwidth. They belong to different technological category, but they have same characteristic. So with Cyberoam's intuitive graphical user interface, you don't have to go through the list of entire 2,000 plus applications, finding out that which application is dangerous or is bandwidth consuming or is going to decrease the productivity of my employees. You can go with select the characteristics and all the applications which belong to that particular characteristics. You can then apply a policy, either denying, allowing, whatever you want to do with that. You control application as a group or as a single application. You can do that for a user. For example, I have 3 users, Steve, Richard, Nancy, right? I want Steve to access Facebook. I want Richard also to access Facebook, but only read-only access. So with Cyberoam, we give you granular access within the applications. I can create a policy on Cyberoam. I can say, all right, Steve, you will have only read-only access to Facebook, which means you cannot post anything, you cannot like anything, you cannot upload any photograph, but you can watch everything on Facebook. Same with Twitter. You can give a granular access to Twitter, whereas you can say or create a policy on Cyberoam and say, all right, nobody is allowed to tweet, but you can read tweets of the people you are following. So again, a granular access within the applications as well. course, real-time visibility. Once you deploy a Cyberoam device in your network, you will have real-time visibility of what all applications your users are using in your network. This is real-time under traffic discovery, live connections, real-time what the users are using. So clear-cut indication. If you will click on this button, right, it will open up. You will have the usernames. Who all are the users who are using this application? So, see, user, Mary, or Justin, the kind of applications they are using. You'll have complete information, real-time information of what's happening in your network. On the basis of source IP addresses as well, you will have the same information. This is Cyberoam's intelligent logging and reporting system that I mentioned earlier. We provide you 1,200 plus reports. So these are, we provide you compliance-based reports, trend reports, even third or fourth level drill down reports, which will help you in forensic analysis as well in case of any kind of breach in your network. Coming on to BYOD, right? Latest trend, bring your own device. People are now bringing their own devices, laptops, Android devices, iPads, iPhones, right? They are using them in your organization network. They can access different things, right, with those networks. So how to control those users? Because as an IT manager, how will you try to find out who is the user, what he is doing with his iPhone by connecting in my network? You need the answer, right? So Cyberoam will clearly show you who is the user and what kind of device or platform he's using. And then you can click on this user and further restrict him, apply any kind of policies you want, or either debar him to ever connect his mobile phone or device again into the network. And I earlier mentioned that the applications that we have are not only for Windows platform, but they are for iOS and Android as well. So again, you can create policy and say, all right, Smith, you are using any Android phone. You are not allowed to access Facebook on your Android phone once you are connected into my network. So Cyberoam, as I mentioned earlier, gives you layer 8 controls, identity-based. You are able to identify your users very easily, right? Anything that you want to configure on Cyberoam, it's not more than 4 clicks. I promise you, it's not more than 4 clicks. Any single policy you want to configure, either for a group, for the entire network, for a single user, it's not more than 4 groups. That's how easy and intuitive the Cyberoam's graphical user interface is, which will you not find with other vendors. All right. Here you have employees. Once they connect to your network, Cyberoam authenticates them. Cyberoam knows who is in your network by their names, by the group that they belong to. Maybe somebody is a CEO, someone belongs to HR department, someone belongs to sales department. Cyberoam knows. Once they connect into your network, start accessing internet, Cyberoam knows their group name, Cyberoam knows their name. Once you have that, then you can apply policies, the authorization that they have. Whether Jack has access to Facebook, yes, Harry doesn't have any access to Facebook. And Alex has access to Facebook. So you apply, you have like lots of possibilities that what you can do with Cyberoam as a device, as a security appliance at the gateway. Coming on to accessing your resources remotely, right? I may have employees working at their home, some employees who travel and they want to access resources or servers in my network. Cyberoam has a solution for that as well. SSL VPN, clientless, client-based. It's absolutely free, available on the device for unlimited number of users. And I know most of the vendors provide the same kinds of features, same kinds of VPN connections, IPsec, L2TP, PPTP, SSL. But the question is, how many platforms do they support? With Cyberoam, we support iOS, IPsec, L2TP, PPTP, Android, L2TP, IPsec, VPN, Windows, Linux, Mac. We support all our VPNs with all the platforms, all the major platforms that we have in the industry. Coming out QoS, right? Now, once I have people in my company, I want to control them. I may not have limited bandwidth with them, with my company, right? So, QoS. Now, the unique thing about Cyberoam's QoS is you have the possibility of applying a bandwidth control policy to a user, but you also have the possibility of applying the same policy to a single application, a group of application, a single website, or a group of website. Now, let me give you an example. I have, again, the 3 users, Jack, Richard, Nancy. I know for my employees, Salesforce is very important, right? You all know, you are familiar with what Salesforce, salesforce.com, right? Many organizations are using that website. Now, I know for them, it is very important. I can first apply individual policies to them. I can say, Jack, you will not get more than 2 Mbps. Nancy, you will not get more than 3 Mbps. But when you guys try to access Salesforce, you have 5 Mbps. Or I can also say, when you guys try to use Skype, you have 10 Mbps, irrespective of your individual bandwidth that you have. So I can apply policies, bandwidth policies on users, applications, group of applications, a website, or a group of websites. Right, so here is it, example. I can create a QoS policy based on web category, a user, or a group, application, any application. I can create a policy or a firewall rule. Right, so these are individual bandwidths. So when this manager will access ERP, he will have 8 Mbps, irrespective of the individual bandwidth or 2 Mbps that he has. Right? Ensuring business continuity. Nobody likes downtime, right? No, everybody hates. I myself hate downtime. Even if there's a 2 minutes of downtime in our support system, while we support customers around the world, I really hate it. So nobody likes downtime, right? So for that, Cyberoam has Multilink Management. Every Cyberoam device supports fiber links, the modern day WAN connections that you have. We also have 3G and 4G support. Every Cyberoam device has at least 2 USB interfaces wherein you can plug your 2G or 3G or 4G modems. All right, I said 2G because in India we are still on 2G. Again, in terms of high availability, you can deploy Cyberoam. You can deploy 2 Cyberooms either in active-active mode or in active-passive mode. So if one of the device fails, the other one will share the entire load of the network. Coming on to web applications, right? Web applications are a hot topic. Every hacker tries to hack web applications because there is where the profit lies, right? Banks' websites are vulnerable. Their web applications are vulnerable so that hackers can steal the confidential information, account information, credit card information. So about Cyberoam, yes, one thing, to protect web applications, firewall and IPS cannot protect as a whole. The next thing that we have is web application firewall. Now, Cyberoam as a UTM device is one of the very, very few vendors around the world that provide web application firewall inbuilt. You will not even find this with major vendors that you have. WAF on board, right? You may have Barracuda, for example, has dedicated WAF appliances, which are as costly as what you have with Cyberoam. So with Cyberoam, you get a lot of features. With Barragood, at the same price, you just get a WAF. So WAF, we have a Web Application Firewall. It's cheap to deploy a WAF, right? It's a subscription-based module. The good thing about this, I'm not sure how many of you have heard about this, OWASP, right? It's an open source community that every quarterly or bi-monthly comes out with the top 10 web vulnerabilities. And Cyberoam is able, we comply by this. Whenever you deploy Cyberoam, you go to OWASP website, and the top 10 vulnerabilities that they have listed on their website, Cyberoam will be able to protect you against it. It's quite a huge open source community that keeps tracks of web vulnerabilities and the incidents that are taking place in the world. Right? So, insider threats. Now, of course, traditionally we have been focused from outside to inside attacks, but what about inside? Before leaving the company, I may not be happy with my boss. I may steal the information and give it out to someone, right? Your company's reputation may go for a toss. So we don't say outside to inside security is not important, but inside security is as much important. So with Cyberoam, you identify who is behind the attack. You get that in the logs. You get the name, who did what. Even if somebody in your network tries to upload a file on Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or any kind of website, HTTPS, you get the reports that this is the guy who uploaded marketing.xls, or an Excel sheet, or a JPEG file. You get that in the reports. So you are able to identify if somebody is stealing the information. Same way with messengers. If somebody's, you can even deny users to send files across Skype. Or you can only restrict them to use chat on Skype. They cannot send any file, or they cannot use video chat. You can do that. All right, 1,200 plus reports I have been mentioning throughout this presentation. Skype, you have the names. So you click on Skype, you will have the reports, who is using what. So every Cyberoam device carries a big hard drive for the iView reports to be stored in it. We call our reporting system as iView. It is again free of cost. It's available on appliance. It also is available in a software format. You can install it on a Linux box or a Windows box, and then you can configure syslogging, remote syslogging on your devices, and logs can be sent onto the iView. Now the good thing about is, iView has been designed in such a way that it not only complements Cyberoam, but you can have reports from all your network devices, your Windows machines, Linux, other vendors, Cisco, Juniper, Checkpoint, name any vendor, you will have the reports. So it not only complements Cyberoam, but it complements most of the vendors that you have. And it's free of cost. And with Cyberoam, it's available on appliance with the big hard drive. So these are a few more screenshots. Top denied hosts. Of course, you can export these reports in PDF format or Excel format. Take a printout, email it to anybody, you have that liability. With the big hard drive, you can at least store these reports for 1 year on a single device. And then you can purge those, once the hard drive is about to fill, you can purge those reports, store them, and again you have that free hard drive to start over again. Right? So we have reports in bar graphs, pie charts, and as well as tables. Also compliance reports. I know many of the organizations go with the compliances. So some compliances say that this is how the reports should look like. We have the exactly same. So as a Cyberoam UTM, comprehensive security solution with one single device. This is just a partial list that we have. We provide a lot more than what I'm showing in the screenshot on this presentation. And each of these features is bounded by the layer 8 technology, the user identity. Right? So, product overview. In network security, we have Cyberoam appliances. We also have these net genies. These are kind of home appliances, wherein as parents can protect their children from harmful effect of internet by applying different kind of policies. It is very parent-friendly in the sense we don't expect parents to be techie guys configuring everything. So it is just by, all right, you can say that my child is 16 years old, and Cyberoam's NetGenie will automatically configure a policy for a 16-year-old. So you have that liability with NetGenie. Right? So we have CCC. CCC is a Cyberoam Central Console. For example, you may have like 4,000 appliances, Cyberoam appliances. How will you manage those 4,000 appliances? You can use CCC. You can just create one policy and push it to all 4,000 appliances. You don't have to access all the 4,000 appliances one by one and applying the same policy. All right, so who are we? We are Cyberoam. All right, this has increased to 700 plus, so it's not no more 450. We are based in, we have a research and development, an entire research and development in India. We have 4 offices in India, 1 in Dubai for the Middle East operations, 1 in New Jersey, United States. It is an Indo-American company considering the fact that the partners are Indians and Americans. So it's an Indo-American company. We are planning to open an office by December in London, UK for our European operations.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can always go ahead and contact info@cyberoam.hu. We have a Hungarian website.